Right, I've got in front of me on the floor 10 games which I've pulled from my own personal collection within this games room. I'm going to show you each of these games, tell you why I would never sell them from my collection. Disclaimer and spoiler alert, these games aren't particularly expensive, nor are you going to think they're particularly good. But there's a story behind each of these games and the reason why I've pulled them out of my collection and I would never sell them. And I want to share that story with you guys. So yeah, if you're expecting to see an expensive game or showing off of something that's really expensive or something that's really cool or rare, you're not going to see it. You're probably going to think I'm an idiot with some things I show you. So I was tagged for a video response from Retro Ed UK. To basically show 10 games which you would never sell, and I believe it started from Tony Fighter 6, so he tagged myself and Ustar Gamer, and we're both doing a response separately, so really looking forward to seeing that. When I watched Ed's video, like I was expecting, didn't know what to expect, you know, some people might have took the approach of showing, you know, rare games or games which are expensive, a bit of a sort of show off, show and tell sort of thing, but Ed took a really nice angle to it, and go and watch the video. I don't want to spoil it. There's some nice sentimental, you know, values and stories behind each game. You know, sharing them with his family, and it just made me think, like, I didn't have to put any thought into this video at all. It was really easy for me because I was watching Ed's video and I was like, oh, that's a really, you know, good way of going about it, a nice gesture. And all these things kept popping into my head of memories and stories I've got as a kid growing up. And recently on the Unofficial Controller podcast, we've been going through our favourite games from each genre. And again, the same sort of occurrence has happened there. Not particularly good games or, you know, the greatest games at all, or our favourite games, but they're just games that at that moment in time in our lives, we loved for a certain particular reason, and we hold nostalgia for it. So I thought that's just a really cool thing to share with everyone. So I'm going to dive straight in. There's going to be, I could have grabbed 15 things, so there'll be a little bit of honourable mentions of a couple of games along the way, but I've just stick with a 10 because those are the rules, and I'll tag a couple of people at the end of the video. And again, it's up to you guys if you want to join in and keep it going along. But I thought if I tag 2 or 3 people, hopefully one of them would do it. So I'm going to start off with a game which is actually very good, but not very expensive. I haven't got the biggest collection on the GameCube, but Super Monkey Ball. Always really, really fun games. Fell out of love with the series, you know, of the more modern ones after the first 3, to be honest, so after the first 2. But there's a particular game on this called Monkey Ball Target. And I absolutely love the game. And the reason why I would never sell this is when the channel started with me and my brother-in-law, Wayne, the very first video we did all those years ago, pre-COVID, would have been Super Monkey Ball Target. It was our first video we'd done. And we just had great fun with it. And basically how the channel started, it was just me versus him. So we'll choose a game each week. We'd practice the game in the week. And we go head-to-head live on camera. And we kept a score. And after 10 weeks... you know, was hoping it's competitive, and then we go to another series. We chose another 10 games, and that was how it started, you know, for the first year or so. That's what the channel was based on. And yeah, the memories of it, you probably see a little clip. I always keep a clip at the end of me turning the hat backwards. It was basically our first blooper when we was filming together. And yeah, I'll never forget that, because this channel like wouldn't have been anywhere if it wasn't for Wayne. This is completely Wayne's idea. It was never my idea to do YouTube. I didn't know anything about YouTube. I thought YouTube was just when you got stuck on Google and you needed advice on something. You went to YouTube, there's a video how to do anything, like DIY. I didn't realise there was gaming stuff on it. I had no idea. So for me, Super Monkey Ball, just because of the way the channel started and that target, I've been thinking about filling out my GameCube collection, and I've actually only got, I don't know, 20 or 30 games, but they don't get much play, and this one does. So much so, it's not in there because it's always in the console. It's just a real fun game, Monkey Ball Target. I really love it. So yeah, that's going to be my first pick. I am that mother-hugging hedgehog, and we're here today to battle it out and see who is a stronger and better team. Is it Team Red, of course, or is it Team Blue? No. So what console are we going to play on? Hold on. Just before we carry on, you're not going to wear that hat for this whole video, are you? Of course I'm wearing this hat. I haven't got generic Lego man hair like you. Maybe take the mick out of my barnet. Anyway, stop distracting me. Sorry. What console we're going to battle it out today?
GameCube.
Good choice, strong choice. Nintendo, I like it. And what game?
Super Mario Kart.
Nah, they're not ready for that. It's too early. Choose another one. Ah, I know. Super Monkey Ball Target. So there we go. Right. The Chimp's Tower's on the block, and we'll see you guys
on the sofa.
Now, my second pick, again, this is a very sort of sentimental one, and you guys are going to laugh at this one. I would never sell this, I have played the game, but this one in particular I bought sealed for a particular reason. It's Buzz Junior. There's loads of these really fun games. They're for the PlayStation 2. You get these little remotes. There's about half a dozen games. I've actually got all of them. It's one of the first things I started collecting, to be honest with you, in terms of retro games. Basically, when I was younger, I was, without going down a long road, I was very ill. I was in hospital for a long time when I was about 21 with lots of different things, pneumonia and all sorts. And when I got better, my family was coming to see me regularly, you know, like I do. And my auntie said about basically getting me a game. And this was the game that she got me. And at the time, my now wife, we were very good friends. And she was sort of looking after me. And I'll be round hers. And like, because I, you know, when you're getting back to normal, you got to be eating and all that sort of stuff, you know, once you've been in hospital a long time. And we just spent a lot of time together playing this game, basically. We had another friend as well, Cameron. He was round. We played it 3-player. And we used to play this game like so much. And we've got so many memories of playing that game with my wife. At the time was my, you know, like one of my best friends. So this, I would never like want to sell this. So I went looking for it on purpose. We actually played them recently a couple of years ago, and now she hates it. Mrs. Marathon Gaming hates the game. She just can't get on with it. But yeah, I've got quite good at it over the years. But yeah, for me, just it's not good to display. I keep it behind one of the tellies over in the back. But I wouldn't get rid of it. It's not in the greatest condition, but I just got it in like a blister pack. But yeah, I thought I'd share that with you guys, that story. Some people, when they're around there, they see it and they're like, why the hell have you got that? I'm like, long story. Okay, sticking with the theme of Mrs. Marathon Gaming, she's not really into games. I talked before, she likes watching horror games. She loves watching me play Dead by Daylight. But the last game she probably played was Shrek Team Racing on a PS2, and she made me swap controllers with her about 30 times because she was convinced it wasn't working. Probably our first argument, I reckon. But yeah, she doesn't like video games. But I said, what about when you was younger? And she said she loves Pokemon Pinball. And I don't collect, you know, boxed Game Boy games because they're very expensive, the Nintendo cardboard. But I was with Retro Ed UK, who tagged me in this video, up in, I think it was Black Country Games Fair. And this was there. And it's not the most popular Pokemon game. I mean, it might be more money now, but it's in immaculate condition, almost to the point where you think it's a reproduction box. But the seller wasn't like a general staller. He was literally selling from his own personal collection. So everything was in collector's condition. But I don't remember it being expensive. It's definitely like, you know, it wasn't triple figures or anything like that. It was well under £100. I don't know what I paid for it, whether it was £50, £60 boxed. I'm not sure. I remember it being a very good deal. But yeah, it's one of her favourite games. So when I saw it, I was like, I'm going to get it. And I got a loose one as well. And I set it up for my wife on Game Boy Color, and she has played it a fair few times, you know. So I wouldn't sell that because it's a nice little memory of her childhood gaming, you know. So now back to me. Or should we go some more stories of the childhood? Before we go into that, one of my favourite games, and again, it's where you are at the time. I know I've talked before, like my favourite game on the PlayStation 1, Twisted Metal World Tour. I know I've showed it in a short recently. As you can see on the screen, I've got many copies of this game. I love this game. So I was me and a friend in particular, Niall his name was, lived on the same street as me in a village when this game was around. And it was a time where he'd come around my house every day after school and we'd write the code down. Yeah, it was a code, wasn't it? From the old, used to write the code down on the PS1, even though I had a memory. I can't get my head around that. It was definitely a code, but with those memory card days, very strange. But yeah, I've got really great fond memories of us each night getting to that final level, which I think was a lava, like the Egyptian level, against Sweet Tooth, and actually, you know, finally beating him and winning the game. And I wanted to track it down so much afterwards. This is actually, if you guys want to play it, don't like get suckered into the price. I mean, I've got 3 copies of it. The reason why I wouldn't sell this one is because it came like by accident. I ordered one online on CEX and they sent me a rental copy. It was from it was CEX, and I just thought, oh, how cool is that? And I thought, I won't lose value because there's probably people that collect old rental copies, but even the disc and the plastic case, which is a proper PlayStation, you know. So I thought I won't complain or say anything. But yeah, it was one of my favourite games to buy back when I was getting into retro collecting. I remember joking and talking to friends at the time saying, oh, that's an expensive game. And you call any retro game expensive once it reaches its original price. So I remember it going to it was 40 quid, I think, at the time. 30, 40 quid, and I brought it. And then a year later, it was like 60, 70 quid. And then a couple of years later, the series came out, didn't it? and now it's silly money. I've got like the first one as well, the dual case. So this used to be really hard to find, and I brought a copy. Sorry, I waited ages to find a copy, and then like London buses, 2 come at the same time. So I got both of them, and then I think this was a stock alert in CEX, and I was like, right, I'll stick with 3, and if one breaks, I'm fine. But now I think they're all out of stock, and they're a lot of money. But yeah, they're on PlayStation Plus, is what I'm trying to say. Sorry, so don't waste your money. Play it on there. There is some reasons why digital can be good. So if you do want to play the game, you can stream it on there for free if you've got the premium package. Now, this one's a gift. So this is a recent game, actually. So it's no stranger. My Premier League team is West Ham United, and I've been a season ticket holder with them since I was very young. I even had a half-season ticket when I was at school. And now, believe it or not, it was £60 for a half-season ticket for under 16-year-old. It's outrageous. That wouldn't get you to 2 games now. So yeah, I've been going a long, long time. And I've, friends that know me, I've told them before, I had an actual child ticket at the old stadium till I was well in my 20s, because a bit like when you go to a train station back in the day, it would beep when it come up child. So all you should do, you used to go 5 minutes before kick-off, and then it would beep, but the security didn't know who it was beeping for because it was so busy. You used to put your head down and walk straight in. I got away with that for years. So I hope the chairman of the board isn't watching this. They might ban me. So yeah, I've been going a long time, and then this must have slipped me by in the new stadium. I don't remember this happening in FIFA 17. Its own little variation cover. So Digital Monkery, I'm giving him a shout out because might not know. So the Monkery's on YouTube. He's now changed it because he's doing it just himself, and it's Digital Monkery, and that's what he's known as on the Unofficial Controller podcast Discord. So shout out Digital Monkery. He gifted me this because he knew I was a West Ham fan. Obviously to him, it doesn't mean much, and he found it at a charity shop. We've done some research, and we think it's Antonio. Lots of people think it isn't, but I think it is. And if it is, it's pretty cool because he's actually, even though he's not the best player for West Ham, I think he's the all-time leading goal scorer. So that says something. So that's quite a cool thing to look back on in the future. So I wouldn't sell that, and it was a gift. So why would I? Now, just to a game that generally is cool, before we get on to more sentimental stories. I'm a big boxing fan. I didn't have nostalgia for it as a kid, but Punch-Out games always interested me. I wanted to track them down, and then years ago, I managed to get a copy of Punch-Out, and it was a Mike Tyson version for cheaper than the normal Punch-Out version would be. And I could have sold this when I brought it instantly on eBay and like flipped it and doubled my money. So I couldn't believe that I got this. I was shocked when it arrived, to be honest with you. It's not the most best condition. I've got it in a box protector. But yeah, I love playing this. A couple of years ago on Boxing Day, I sort of streamed it, did a little Boxing Day special playing it. But I just love it. Love boxing. The original Punch-Out game's so good. Other than Kirby on the NES, it's probably like my favourite NES game. So I would never, ever sell that. Kirby nearly made it to this video. I've actually, a bit like Twisted Metal, I love the game so much. I love all of the series. And I've got like a correction to make as well. So when we was going through our favourite genres, favourite games, I talked about some of the Kirby games, and I missed out my favourite one because I don't have it, it's so expensive, but I play it on the streaming Nintendo Online service, and that is a 64 one. It's so expensive. Kirby and the Crystal Shards, I think it is. It's awesome. But all the Kirby games, even on the Wii, the ones people think are rubbish, like Kirby's Epic Yarn, is very good. And Superstar Alloys is good. Forgotten World is good. Return to Dreamland's good. All the ones on the Switch, they're all really good. Even the Game Boy Kirby game is amazing. So, just digressed a little bit there, didn't I? Punch-Out is a good game. That's what I was trying to say. So that's probably actually the more, showy offy as in expensive or rare, or actually a good game. The rest of them you're probably thinking, what is he going on about? So other than the Pokemon Pinball, these are quite desirable. I would like to get the red, blue and yellow boxed, but I don't want to spend the money on how much they are, because Nintendo Cardboard plus Pokemon, those are two of the things that go hand in hand that create an expensive pie. So when I come across a very good deal, I get one. So I managed to find it this year. A friend from another Discord, I think it might have been, I think it was OG Duffy's Discord actually. So I was so in OG Duffy's Discord, there was someone who's, on all different Discords like my own, you have like a little sort of swap shop bit. And someone was selling that, or listen to Stingray, if you're an Unofficial Controller podcast one, which is quality. But yeah, I think someone was offering it on there, and they was doing it pretty much at trading price, because obviously they would only get credit for it. So I just gave them like the cash equivalent, maybe a little bit more. So we both got like a really good bargain. So it's a really good deal. But yeah, as you can see, I've got the loose carts for the originals. But yeah, I just literally, every time I think of Pokemon, I remember being on the bus, and it was literally like an old battered coach for secondary school, and I remember playing it on that bus. Like I remember being there, sitting there playing it, and that's just where it all started for me. And it was kind of where it rekindled my love for games. So a bit like anyone, you become a casual gamer at some point. You discover drink, girls, football, and you forget about gaming for a long time. Well, I did. And then I only ever really played like FIFA each year, COD each year, that sort of stuff, or an online game like Rainbow Six Siege or Tom Clancy's The Division. I only played like 1 or 2 titles a year. But then when the Switch came out, the reason why I brought the Switch was just to play a modern Pokemon game. So I never played any of them since the original 3. I never went back and played, I never played the 3DS one. So I was like, oh my God, they've made a Pokemon game modern. So I played Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu, and I completed it. I loved it. And then we've had a Pokemon game each year, like Sword and Shield, Arceus, Scarlet Violet. And so I bought the Switch just for that. And then it got me into other games. It got me into indie gaming. Then it got me back into, it just it reignited my love for games, which I'd forgotten about. So I owe a lot to the original Pokemon games, because that's what made me want to get a Switch to play a new Pokemon game. And that's how I've got into this deep hole and abyss I'm in right now. So yeah, a lot of love for the Pokemon games there. Last 3. Now, here's a random one. I've talked about this recently. So I met up with a chap. I'll put a picture on the screen now. I'll put all the details to this in the description of the video as well. And I did mention this previously, and I said I want to really dive into it, play it, and do a video of it on its own, which I will do. But yeah, I couldn't believe this retro game Odyssey, basically. I know I talked about it before, and I was given a copy of it. But the fact that I'm in a game and my name's printed, I'm sure it is, but I think my name's printed in the actual inlay of it as well. And like, I just couldn't believe that. Yeah, I talked about it, didn't I, previously on a video. But yeah, my name's on the actual inlay. I just think that's such a cool thing. Like, that's never going to happen again, is it? So the stars have aligned for that one. And that's just really, really cool. Like, really, really like flattering and undeserving, and just a really cool thing. So like, that is absolutely awesome. And it reminds me of, again, not a game, but I would have featured it in this if it was. I've got... when I started supporting the Unofficial Controller podcasts before I joined as a co-host, there was a package deal they were doing at the time where, like, that was it. When they set up the subscription thing, they said, if you donate a couple quid a month, whoever the first 50 people to do it, they did like a little gift pack. And one of the things in there, you could get a cassette, like a retro cassette tape of your favourite show. And I was a guest on there one year doing the buyer's guide to Nintendo Switch. So I got a copy of that on the tape. And again, that's something I will never get rid of, because it's like the first time I ever appeared on the podcast. Do you know what I mean? And that's a bit like this, really. Just something really sentimental, which you just keep forever, which is really, really cool. Been telling all my family about that, my sisters and that. My wife's sick of hearing it. Hearing about it. She wakes up every morning, I'm hovering over her face 2 inches away from her nose. I'm like, do you know I'm in a game? She's sick of it. Now, another couple of games. I'll save the funny story at the end, because this is a really funny one, this one. But yeah, I'll go on to this one. So there's lots of games I love, like on the Mega Drive, like Road Rash. And like, I'm playing Road Rash at the moment on the Game Gear. I remember borrowing at primary school Road Rash from a friend, Ryan, and playing it. And I said, like, it's so good. Like, I think it's the first game to feature police brutality. And that's not the reason why I like it. I sound like I'm hating on the world there, don't I? Sorry, it just popped into my head. Might be sound evil, but I love the format of it, where even on the Game Gear, like, you're racing it. It's so perfectly balanced. You complete the races, and like, it's awesome. And I love like Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. I love it when there's like a police car involved. Got the police bike on there chasing you. You can punch and kick like your enemies, use weapons and whatnot. And you've got like rivals and stuff. And it's basically like 5 races to each level. And on your standard bike, you can win all those races if you're half decent at the game. Like, I can do it, it's fine. And then you get to the next load of races and you're not competing enough. But in the top, if you come first, second or third, you get money. You've got to come first, second or third to go to the next race. And you want to be coming first to rake that money up. Because when you get to the later levels, you need a better bike. So at the end of each race, you can go in the shop and you could upgrade the bikes. I remember saving up for like the Panda bike and really wanting to get it and all this stuff. For like, got so many memories of that. I would never sell all, so I wouldn't sell that. I would never sell, I'm teasing you with more games now. I'd never sell, I'm a big Beavis and Butthead fan. So I had a friend, Dave, at school. Me and him used to love Beavis and Butthead. I'm gutted I sold all my VHS tapes. And I remember selling them for £1 each to a shop called Les and Gary's in Westcliff, Southend. And he knew he was mugging me off there and then. But this is like pre-internet. Do you know what I mean? Pre of being common to put things on eBay. I should have done, but I didn't. Idiot. And I sold like the whole collection. But yeah, Beavis and Butthead on a Mega Drive, mate. I remember playing on the PC around Dave's. I got into Game Gear. The SNES one's awesome. I wouldn't sell those. I really wouldn't. I digressed again. But yeah, I've talked about it on the podcast previously of playing Lion King with my cousins, but I've got 3 sisters, and for those who didn't know, and we used to love Aladdin. Literally used to love it. And I remember the cheat now, AABB, AABBA. I love this game so much. I got the variant version. I've actually completed it recently because they brought out a couple of years ago, didn't they, on a Switch? And it was easy because you could rewind, so when you messed up. So yeah, got to replay the game, and I'm awesome at it, really good at it. The hardest level though, like your memories, like I like to relax with a drink now playing, that does not help. There's a lava level on a magic carpet, and obviously it's not a roguelike, so it's the same sequence, you just got to remember the pattern, but it's really hard. I don't know as a kid how he done it. Like, I'm quite impressed of my younger self, of how good I was at games, but I guess it's just repetition, isn't it? Of playing 12 hours a day because you've got nothing else going on. Yeah, just for me, just for my family, and you know, loving this game. And I still think this is the best platformer. Like, a lot of people be arguing about that, about Mario and different games. But honestly, like, it's flawless. Even it's timeless. The animation is absolutely gorgeous, as you can see from the footage on the screen. It perfectly plays well. The music goes well with it. The Disney games, honestly, were brilliant on the Mega Drive. Me and a digital monkey was talking about it, actually. He said there's one that's rubbish. I think it's Little Mermaid. He even said Pocahontas is good. The 16-bit era was just good, really good on the Mega Drive for those games, and that ties in perfectly. Segues to what I'm going to talk about now. The Mickey Mouse games on the 16-bit, wowzers. My favourite was Castle of Illusion. That level, I will get it. I've got no nostalgia for Quackshot. I will get a nice, I'm in no rush, but I would get a nice, box when I've just Castle of Illusion. Again, it's not an expensive game, but honestly, for a platform, that was amazing. The toy level, like the Jello, jumping on your little butt, the way it starts, like that sort of Hallows scene, and then you end up going to on the toy soldiers. Like the level design is brilliant, and different music for each level. It's such a good game, Castle of Illusion. Anyone that's played it will not disagree with me. If you haven't played it, I suggest playing it. Even though I haven't got any nostalgia from Mickey Mania because I didn't play that, but even that's cool. It starts off with Steamboat Willie. I think that's his name, and that's how Mickey started, isn't it? That was the character he was called, I think, Steamboat Willie. Is that correct? It was, wasn't it? Before it went to Mickey Mouse. If I'm talking shit, let me know in the comments. But yeah, that is an absolutely awesome game. And then the other one was really good, and this one was 2-player. And the reason why I want to talk about this, and this is the last game I'm going to cover before I nominate people, I hope you've enjoyed this and stick around because this is a good little story. So, World of Illusion on the Sega Mega Drive. And if you've listened to the podcast this week, you've probably heard this story already. But basically, my mum was a bit cheeky. She used to play some of our games when we wasn't there, and we didn't know this. And one time we got home from school, like, a friend's mum dropped us off, and her mum used to always, greet you at the door, and she weren't there. But my sister's a bit older, so she had a key. Never had to use it, but it was just in case. Used the key, was like, where's mum? Anyway, we're looking around the house, you're concerned. What's going on? Where's mum? And we could hear something. She was in my room playing this game, and the look on her face, I still remember it now. I told her about this recently, actually, and she literally has been playing the game while I was at school each day, and we never completed it, and she had got right to the end, and me and my sister behind, like, yeah, go mum, and and we watched her complete the game, and it was absolutely amazing. And I still remember, it's mad how you remember things so long ago. I remember being at the door and then going in there, me and my sister found mum, and I look at my mum's face, and then we was cheering her on, it was so funny. But that is a really good game. You can whip the little with the little rugs or towels, whatever it is got. But yeah, Mickey's World of Illusion is absolutely awesome. But I could talk a lot about lots of different games, why they hold special memory in my heart. So I would say check out the Unofficial Controller podcast on Apple or Spotify. The episodes are on YouTube as well, but it takes us a couple of weeks to get the modern ones, the latest on there. But yeah, we talked about me and RGT, talked about our favourite games. And there's all these stories plus more have come up on there. So if you want to hear more of that stuff, check that out. So yeah, those are my games, guys. I hope you enjoyed those. Yeah, like I said, they're not particularly expensive games or particularly good games, but for me at that time in my life, they were very important. So that's why I cherish them. I wouldn't get rid of them. So thank you to Tony Fighter 6 who started it off. Thank you to Retro Ed UK. Really enjoyed your video. I'm looking forward to watching Alex's video from Moostar Gaming. I'm going to nominate 3 people because there's a good chance, you know, 2 of them might not do it. So I need to make sure that someone does. And I want to, I'm going to say one and mention each one. I'm going to say Retro Rummage, Mitch, because Mitch has got an awesome gaming collection. What he's been doing is he's a big PlayStation, you know, fanboy, and he's a boot sale king. His videos are just going around literally all the local car boot sales, and he picks up games and then flips them in. That's the concept of his channel. He flips them in to CEX, and he uses the credit to get the games for like next to nothing. And he's built a whole collection doing this the last couple of years, and his YouTube journey's been awesome, and he's just really flown. I remember sharing his video for him when he first started. I remember he found me on Swap Shop because we used to box together in a boxing gym a long time ago, and then he screenshotted on Swap Shop. Because you don't really talk about things outside of what you're doing. So we didn't really know each other were geeks. Do you know what I mean? We used to just talk a little bit between rounds. And I remember he sent me a screenshot of myself. And I was like, he's like, that you, Scott? I was like, yeah, we hadn't spoke for years. And then, yeah, so we sort of carried on talking to each other from then. And we've, you know, been to a couple of car boot sales, bumped into each other and stuff. And yeah, he's got an awesome game collection, is what I was getting at. And it would be really cool to see him. Again, Mitch, don't have to do this, but it's been really cool now. You've got so much stuff that you've built in the last, you know, 6 months or a year, and you've got your own little games room area now. So it'd be nice to hear you talk about some of your stories. So I thought I'd put that opportunity to you in case you want to do it. Again, no problem if you don't want to. The second person I'm going to nominate is going to be Retro Hulk. So you guys know him, Roger Retro Gamer. Apologies, Roger, if you have already been nominated in this. If you have, I haven't seen the video yet, if you've already done it. But this happened last time I did a video response. I nominated some people, and half of them had already been nominated before. I think it happened with Sedex Tetley. But yeah, I wanted to mention Retro Hulk, because Roger Retro Gamer, you guys know him as. But he had to, for some circumstance, he had to change the channel name. Or he did change the channel name for whatever reason. And obviously when you do that, you kind of start again, you lose a lot of subscribers. So some people might not be aware it's the same person. So I just wanted to let everyone know Retro Hulk is formerly known as Roger Retro Gaming. I've forgotten what the old channel was called now. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there just so if this helps, people might watch this. So I'm sure a lot of my viewers would be Roger's viewers, and you might not have realised he started a new channel. So yeah, guys, go over to Roger and check him out and give him a sub. So yeah, Roger, if you want to join in with a challenge, mate, it'd be cool to hear from you in the loft. And do us a favour, before you turn the camera on, I want you to neck, what are you going to have? Not Vimto, I want you to, what was it before? It was Rockstar or Monster. I met Roger for the first time at Scott's up in Ipswich, and I said to him, the funniest video. One time, Roger, I don't think you realised, he was high on sugar and caffeine, and it was the funniest video ever. It was like watching Tony Montana try to do a show and tell of games. He was high as a kite. It was so funny, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, big up to you, Roger. And the last person I'm going to nominate, because I haven't seen him do anything like this, so Legally Insane Gamer. He used to be known as, a year or two ago, as Party Game Network, and been good friends with him, done a little interview with him before on YouTube a while ago. And I can't remember how I came across his channel, but a very, very funny guy, very good humour. As soon as the channel starts, he's talking about adult diapers, and we have such good banter back and forth. He's really good at messaging me and telling me what physical games to get, and reminds me, you know, we remind each other about super rare releases. And he does a lot of, he talks about price of games which, you know, go up and ones you want to get and collect. He's got a lot of knowledge, and he has got a lot of stories that come over in his videos. So when he's doing his price charting videos, he tells you stories about the games. And I know just from the stories that he was a big co-op gamer. So he's got a lot of stories from his childhood of playing. He tells a lot of these funny stories during the videos, but I think he's got a lot more to tell. So I really want to tag, Legally Insane Gamer in. So I would love to hear some more from you, my friend. So yeah, Joel, if you're watching this, it'd be cool if you did a video as well, because you've got some funny stories and always cracks me up. So yeah, so those are the 3 boys I'm going to tag in. Hope you enjoyed the video. Join the Discord if you'd like to. It's completely free, and I'm always giving away a little mug or something, and I might be giving away a t-shirt or 2 soon as well. And it's just a good chat in there anyway. It's just a place to talk to other like-minded gamers. And yeah, check out the Unofficial Controller podcast. And I think that's all I need to say. I don't know what we've got coming up. I think there's London Gaming Market coming up. Oh, another thing. Set your reminders. I think it's Thursday. I've already filmed it. I've got a Halloween special coming out. It's going to be very funny. I talk about my 50 horror games to play this Halloween, but it's only like a 10-minute video, and it's a little comedy twist. So make sure you're there. It's going to be very, very funny. Right. I'll see you guys soon. Bye. I'm Mario. And I am the Hedgehog. And today, with this...